Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Boars Nest is back with another exciting Raw preview review show as we recap the past week in WWE, as well as the King and Queen of the Ring PLE getting ready for Raw tonight. I am your host, OMD. I am joined beside the Bulkster here tonight, and I know he's got a lot of insight on King and Queen of the Ring PLE. I have yet to see it, but I have seen the spoilers. How are we doing tonight, Bulkster?
Oh, Bulk's is doing great. It's a great Memorial Day here in the States.
Excellent, excellent. Did you get your chicken parm today?
No, I settled for burgers and hot dogs today. I'm famished now that I don't have no chicken parm.
Ah, ah. All right, all right. So we're going to start with the King and Queen of the Ring PLE. And let's start with the Queen of the Ring. This was something that we all here predicted was going to happen in Nia Jax winning. I am not disappointed by this.
No, not at all.
Your thoughts?
I think it's a great move. Nia has improved quite a bit with her character build, her promos, to her in-ring work. I mean, she is just a dominant force now and has proven that she can just go through this roster and it's well deserving. I mean, she's already planted seeds that she is going. Well, I mean, with her winning Queen of the Ring, she does get a title shot at SummerSlam, and that right now is currently champion is Bayley, and they've already planted seeds to that. When Nia got drafted to SmackDown as a run-in on the following SmackDown when she got drafted, she attacked Bayley and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be here. You better be
Yeah.
ready."
Yeah, we did see that as well last week on the SmackDown security detail, as there was a little bit of a confrontation backstage on SmackDown between Nia and Bayley.
And
Yes, I am okay with it for everything you said. Nia's character build, her improvement in her work, all of that. I'm going to take it from the different perspective. I am as much of a Lyra Valkyria fan as I am. I am not disappointed by this for her. She doesn't really lose any momentum.
no,
But I also didn't want her to get that rocket ship strapped to her and push her into a title match this quickly after getting drafted to the main roster from NXT.
I loved it. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, see if you can check out the entrance. She had an awesome entrance to King of the Ring.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not sure if she's ever had this entrance in NXT because it's not your typical "Hey, I'm going to come out." And I don't think she's had matches on Raw, and I don't think she came out with her whole gimmick of like bird wings. I
Right.
mean, this thing was like good cosplay. I mean, I'm like that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Like it.
Awesome. 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 I will have to definitely look into that. Let's shift gears now and we'll head over to the King of the Ring match, which I'm a little bit disappointed that it wasn't Tamatonga versus Jey Uso. At the same time, again, I'm going to take the side of we don't need them pushing to that this instant.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're going to build up, especially if there's a Roman return, if Jimmy Uso returns from his injury, and then you get the OG bloodline starting to rebuild.
Yeah, I think that the whole story is going to happen very slowly. Triple H has showed us many times that just just take the ride with us
Yeah,
because we will
I
tease it. We will
I
tease
absolutely
it,
I absolutely love a slow burn for long-term storytelling.
and the Bloodline storyline has been a slow burn. So there's no reason to rush. Okay, I people are all talking about OG Bloodline versus this new one at uh Hell in the Cell, or not Hell in the Cell. War Games. I mean, people they want that. Well, yes, but will we get this War Games? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
next War Games. Maybe next year
I mean,
because they do things slow.
I've also heard tentatively that we see the Usos versus, it was supposed to be Tamatonga and Solo at SummerSlam, but who knows? Maybe we get the 6-man tag, and that's where we get Jacob and Zilla Fatu making their debuts to save their respective sides.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm all for like the slow burn of what they are going to do with the bloodline because it doesn't need to happen in a year. They've proven that they can do it in sporadic things, and it works out great. It keeps it fresh.
Yes. So we had Gunther versus Randy Orton. Now, again, I love the idea of this match. And it could have gone either way, and I would have been happy. Now, we all know that Gunther, the now King General, won the match. But we do also know that there was some controversy associated with it that I believe this one so much doesn't have the IWC, the Internet Whining Community, up in arms.
No, a lot of people were talking about it a little bit, as in like, what are you talking about? His shoulder was up. I mean, they were like plain as day because the camera was just right on it. It was just a bad angle for the camera to see it. Not sure if, like I said, we never know what W is planning. Is it storyline related? Was this always meant to be like a false finish so we could have a second match to make the King of the Ring have a little bit of story
Right.
behind it? Who knows? But it all works out. Triple H, I trust Triple H. He addressed it afterwards and made it into a story. That's what's so
Yes.
good. He can pivot so quickly. And who doesn't want to see Gunther versus Randy again? It was a great match. It was
Right.
excellent.
And we know, again, as we alluded to earlier with the Nia situation, she gets her title match at SummerSlam. Gunther has the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and there you have the perspective of Gunther versus Damian Priest or Gunther versus Drew McIntyre.
Wow. Because, yes, he's going to be getting a title shot. Drew is at
Clash at the
this
Castle.
Clash at the Castle. Yes. That will be, like I said, Damian needs to be put in some big matches so he's believable. I love Damian's character. I love his ring work. I don't know, something, and he's getting better on the mic, especially this last promo he had against Drew. But something isn't clicking with me yet. I'm waiting for something to. Wow, maybe he just needs to have more matches with, and put some good wins in. Maybe not. You know, you got so many arches going on in his story because you have him and the Judgment Day. Are they
Right.
falling apart? Is he kind of drifting away from the Judgment Day? There's
Right.
so many spider webs of what's going on with his character and the Judgment Day and him having the title and then him stories with individual characters and not wanting to include Judgment Day. They stay out of my business type thing. I mean, there's just so much to come. It's just a complex story. And
Absolutely. And it's not the first time that we've seen that within Judgment Day, because we saw it when Mommy was the women's world
mm-hmm.
champion and she was the one going to Adam Pearce and getting Dom and the guys'
Yep.
matches.
Yep.
So now you've got that authoritative leader who's not supposed to be the leader when
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a group decision. So yeah, you see them spreading themselves a little bit thin. Now, I've been a Damian Priest fan since his Ring of Honor days as Punishment Martinez.
Okay.
I've always thought he's just fantastic. I'm glad he's been given the opportunity to excel in WWE, getting the North American title in NXT. It's disappointing that he did not get a US or Intercontinental title run on the main roster first, but I like the way they did it for him with the Money in the Bank, and then the slow, again, the slow burn on his Money in the Bank cashing.
Yes.
So we do have that. Now, it was disappointing, though, that he did not have a match at the PLE.
Yeah.
But again, you can't have everybody on the show.
Yeah. Especially now, since they're building quality over quantity,
Yes.
and people are able to show off their skills in the ring and tell a story. Where we've lost that, it's been coming back, but we've lost that in the recent past.
Yes.
Because of the new era is more, hey, we're going to build quality over quantity. And it's just great. I mean, I see all the, and like I said, they're trying to improve, how long matches go and give people time. And that's why I'm not, we go back to, they're in 2026, we're going to get a 2-night SummerSlam. I'm not disappointed in that.
Not at
People
all.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I know they're putting their foot in the water to see how it goes. I think it's going to be a big hit, but I think they can do it for the big four, especially if they want to do, five matches a night. They have a big enough roster; they can tell so many stories.
I would be 100% okay on the 2-night PLEs for the big six, because now you have to
Yeah, big
factor
six. Yeah,
money in the bank,
yeah, Money in the Bank.
and Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
I will be honest in saying this: you could do the 2-night Royal Rumble with a men's and a women's. You also could do just a 1-night, because I would love to see, with the Royal Rumble, WWE take the concept of WCW's World War III. 3 rings, 20 people per ring. So 1 Raw ring, 1 SmackDown ring, 1 NXT ring. When you're down to 10, they all converge.
ooh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be good too. Can you 3 separate rings and they're each having their own? Each brand's having their own Royal Rumble at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be so chaotic at a point where you're like,
It would be, because you can also still get knocked into the other rings and be eliminated. But that's just a concept that has always intrigued me. But yes, if you're going to do that, you have to reduce your number of pay-per-views to 6 a year, and then let your NXTs do theirs in the off months, with the exception of maybe Stand and Deliver.
I don't think they're ever going to get away with their minor PLEs, because that's where they're taking them overseas and making that big money.
Absolutely.
And I'm all for it. I mean, the crowds over there are crazy compared to the States when it comes to how into it. Now, could that change if they see them once a year and it becomes a regular thing? Does their excitement go down a little bit, or does it just be like, hey, this is how we are?
I think it's a case of, hey, this is how we are, because I mean, we see it in the case of football or soccer over there, as we call it. You get those hooligans, and those fan bases are passionate. And I mean, it's not just soccer. I mean, we see it here with pro football. We see it here with hockey, basketball, baseball. It's each city has their own level of passion. So it's very, very intriguing to me. And I do like the idea, but I think that if you're going to go to 2 nights for the big six, I think you have to reduce.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. And on to our next match from King and Queen of the Ring. Let's go Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan.
That match was very good. I loved it. Um, all the way up to the shenanigans with because they did a backstage with Dom showing up and meeting Liv, and Liv was all like having an interview, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And people were like, "I'm like, I didn't even think about Dom at first when she said that." Then they panned the camera over, and he's like, "I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go." And he was all like, "I'm just here to make sure you don't win that title for mommy."
Right. I did see that clip. I've also seen the clip that resulted in the finish of that match.
And that finish is odd. They're kind of swerving us, I think. I think Liv and Dom is in cahoots, uh, or it's a slow build to them being in cahoots. But because it looked like he was passing the chair over to Becky, um, and Becky wasn't going to use the chair. She was like, "No, I don't do that." And Liv took advantage because Dom instantly went over to the other side and started distracting the ref. Was that to help Becky or was it to help Liv? He made it. He looked like he was disappointed, but really was he? It's
Right.
another slow build. I think we're
Right.
gonna not see the complete turn until Mommy comes back and they have a match, and then Dom turns on Liv, or not
Right.
turns on Rhea. Rhea.
Right. See, again, I'm okay with the decision, but again, I think this was a little bit too quick. I think if you were going to do this with Liv, you didn't need to put the belt on Becky in that battle royal a few weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
Yes, Becky has reached the point where being a transitional champion doesn't hurt her. We knew she had holidays coming up. I think if you were going to do a transitional champion, a Zoe Stark, a Shayna Baszler, something like that for Liv, and especially given Liv's history with a Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey from back in the day, you
Yeah.
could have had that. Um, Again, I'm not disappointed in the win, but I do think it was too quick. I think you needed to get it to a point where, okay, yes, the chair came into play. I think those weapons needed to come into play to create a match for either Clash at the Castle or SummerSlam that would have been a street fight or hardcore or falls count anywhere to put both women in that element.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't mind the how the transition with Becky went because they needed to give Liv. I think they felt like they needed to give Liv a big win against a big star. Winning at a Royal Rumble or Battle Royal isn't as pregi- prestigious
Prestigious?
as winning a big match against a main eventer, even if she only held it for a month.
I am
Or
100% in agreement with you there, Bulkster. Um, but again, I think they should have gone with the slow burn because
yeah,
you haven't even fully completed Liv's heel turn. I know you've got Lyra as well now, essentially waiting in the wings because even though
yeah,
she lost, we know she's going to be in line for the title shot on her brand. We know she's got history with Becky. I think we could get Lyra into that position come Clash at the Castle with a triple threat or at SummerSlam with the triple threat, which again, I think it's a little too much. I think there's still way too much of Liv and Becky to be told, although I don't want them to burn this story out.
yeah. I think, like I said, and we're like I said, I read that that tonight on Raw they're going to continue the story. I thought maybe Becky was going to be gone because they're talking about how she wants to take a break, which she probably still is. I mean, but They're going to do something in a steel cage tonight.
Yes.
Will it be a finish we expect, or will it end in a certain way where it to be continued?
I think it's going to end in a way to be continued, but allow Becky to go and get her time off.
Yeah, yep. And
Because
I
that way you can allow for potentially Charlotte's return from injury without it overshadowing Becky. And then they're
you know there's so many different things. You never know what's going to happen after a PLE.
exactly, exactly. What else happened at the PLE? Because really, those are the three
So,
big ones that I can think of offhand. Oh, we did
so
have.
we the two Queen and King. We talked about the women's.
Oh,
We
we forgot about one. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul.
before we talked, you want to do the pre-show match was a tag team championship match.
Okay.
That was Bianca and Jade Cargill
Yeah.
versus Candice and Indy Hartwell for the
Okay.
titles. Um, Very good match. Um, of course, Bianca and Jade wins. They kind of threw that match in on SmackDown. Said,
Right.
"Hey, we're gonna have a pre-show match." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So they had that match. It was what you expect. Indian uh, and Candice heel work, great heel work, but we're just overcome by the strength of Bianca and Jade. They did their finishing move, that routine move that
Right.
people were kind of on the internet like, "Oh, that's a dangerous move." I don't think they're gonna use that for very long because of the way when she whips them back, people on the internet community are already talking about, "Oh, it's going to give them concussions because they're whipping their head." Uh,
Right.
but I think if you learn to, I mean, it's just a normal, it's just like a back suplex. So
Right.
if they know how to land on a bump you just got to be prepared. It's just a sequence that's a little bit quicker
Right.
in transitions. But
Right.
anyway, they won with that move, and
I mean, again, no surprise there in Bianca and Jade retaining. They are defending the women's tag titles tonight against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler on Raw.
oh, okay, I'm all for that.
Um, I'm I'm hoping that this will give Zoe and Shayna a chance to really shine as a tag team and take advantage of the jet lag.
Yeah,
Um, I don't expect Zoe and Shayna to win. And especially Shayna's been doing some work in NXT, and
yeah,
she's just had the face turned down there. So it's going to be very intriguing to see what happens tonight. Do we see them? Do we see this now as two face teams or two heel teams? Because like Zoe and Shayna seem to be in that in
in
between
between.
phase.
People want to cheer for them, but they want them to give us a reason.
Yeah,
And right now, we don't really have a reason, but we want them to succeed. At least I do, and you do. Um, I'm hoping they come out strong. Yes, I agree with you. I don't think they will get the win today. Um, I think they need to show dominance, though. I don't care if they get DQ'd, by not letting go of submissions. Make them where they choke them out, where the refs like counting them to 1 to 5, and they just won't let go. And
the problem there is that's a heel tactic. So if we're trying to get them to cheer and succeed, you don't
true,
want that. But if you're trying to get them over as a heel team, sure.
yeah, it is.
I'm with you. Let them be dominant. Let the knee injuries from the last couple of weeks on SmackDown and now jet lag really hinder
Yeah.
Bianca and Jade.
So we'll have to see. I don't know what. what they plan on doing with Shayna, and then they had a talk with they might get a new manager of was it on SmackDown that they got talking to by shoot, who's the woman that was the helped it being a GM for a little bit, and then she went away. She was
Oh, Sonya
shoot,
Deville.
Sonya Deville. She was shown talking. Well, initially Shayna was like, "Don't talk to us," but there was another part later, another interview where you see her talking to both of them again.
Yes, that would have been okay. Yeah, I could see that. And then that brings, because Sonya and Shayna were a tag team for a while and
Yeah,
they both have the MMA backgrounds.
you know,
So I could see that. And I could see that maybe making Zoe a face and turning Shayna heel. But you've got, like I said, Shayna's now getting some face work on NXT after last week.
yeah,
So do you really want to go there? Or does Sonya maybe have a new partner that she can bring?
yeah. And it could be a new faction, new smaller faction of MMA style, rough and tough
Yep. Actually,
team.
now that I think about it, given what we saw on NXT last week, I would not be surprised if the girl that turned on Shayna last week becomes Sonya's new protege.
Yeah, I can see that too. That'd be interesting.
Um, so yes, it is definitely shaping up to be an interesting Raw. It was sounds like it was definitely a very intriguing pay-per-view. I just wish I would have had time this weekend to watch it or been
Yep.
able to find it on Saturday afternoon when I got home from work. And that leaves us with the main event of the evening from the King and Queen of the Ring, Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, it was. It was a great match. A lot of cool spots. Logan producing some great heel work. Um, even gets to the point where people were like, they teased a Corey Graves return.
Really?
Uh, or it could potentially if he wanted to get back in the ring. Uh, but the internet community is thinking that possibly this will be a Pat McAfee, that they're building to a Pat McAfee versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam or something. But that's just whispers in the wind.
Right.
But what happened is with Michael Cole, when he interviewed Logan or something or other in the previous weeks, Logan said that he wasn't going to use brass knucks and everything. And what happens? His little two proteges were out there, and he handed the brass knucks, and Michael Cole started going off on Logan Paul,
Okay.
and he called him a loser. And Logan Paul was like, "What? Oh, you want to go?" And started to walk around the announce table like he was going to get to Michael Cole. And Corey Graves stood in front of him and said, "You better get back to that ring. You better focus."
Right. Well,
But
Corey Graves has been cleared.
yeah, so
So,
fans were going crazy that this is a potential could
right.
happen.
Now we know that Corey Graves has said he doesn't want to get back in the ring. He is happy doing
Yeah,
what he's doing, but I could absolutely see a one-off.
yeah, I could. I could see that, or him having. Wouldn't it be amazing if good old Michael Cole gets back in the singlet for one
No, no,
final
we do not need Cole in
one
his
final
Syracuse orange singlet.
one final thing before he's like, you know what, I'm done with in ring, but it would just be a good throwback, and Logan could make it work, and Michael, and then you could involve all three commentary members.
Oh, 100% you could. Absolutely. Absolutely you
So it would be a fun match. Give. I think people would dig it and have a good time watching
could. Right.
that. But the finish of that, of course, Cody wins. Uh, he was about ready to get hit with the brass knucks. Cody caught him and said, "I'm Cody Rhodes, bitch." And
Nice.
fucking gets him right in the thing. At the time, the ref was knocked down, and he was
Right.
just getting his bearings. He did the 3 crossroads in a row and gets the pin, clean win.
Right.
But even if Logan Paul is on the video game, he would have the special ability to steal a move because he did the crossroads on Cody
Okay.
and try to
And
get a pin and
I
win. Yeah.
I did see a clip of Cody using, I want to say it was the gory bomb as well, where he had him hooked up, head down, and then did the pile driver with the
Cody Rhodes did that to what he
Logan
called?
Paul.
I forget what they call that. Vertebreaker.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they call
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't used that in a while, but he did that move. They teased it, and he got out of it, and then they finally did it again. They said it's a banned move,
Yeah.
which that's why he did it when the ref was down.
Right.
So,
Yes, that move has not been used in over 3 years because
which
again, of the potential for concussions
and Logan took it like Logan's a natural. Logan,
right.
they trusted him to do that. He also had a cool spot where he grabbed a prime bottle. He went and had Cody out there on the Spanish announce team or one of the whatever team they had out there, a different team, Israeli or Saudis, yeah,
Right.
they were out there. Had Cody on there. He grabbed a prime bottle from his thing. He says, "Let's make a viral moment here," and gets on the top rope. And they had a uh, drone go around him with the video camera and show a
Nice.
360, and he jumped off. And apparently, Logan shows a text message with Triple H about, "Hey, I've got this idea to make another viral moment." I don't know who was handling the drone at the time, but they cut to that when he was up on top rope and he was drinking his prime and throws it out to the crowd. I mean, I was like, that is freaking he's using social media. He has some inventive ideas. It is
Yep.
great.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So we know we've covered a couple of matches here for tonight because that does bring us to the end of our King and Queen of the Ring PLE coverage.
The only other
Um,
thing I would like to mention about King of the Ring would be they did have a Uncle Howdy QR code. Oh yeah, we did miss one more match.
okay, we did.
I see. Triple threat.
Yes, we did.
We almost forgot it.
We did. We did. Okay. And again, I know who won. I've seen the result. I saw what happened. Are we really surprised?
Not surprised. Match was amazing. Chad Gable amazes me every time he steps in that ring. He does some spot that makes you go, "What in the world did I just see?" He did a back suplex with Bronson while Bronson was holding Sami Zayn, and he brought both of them with
Okay,
a back suplex.
so the double German, nice,
And I'm like,
nice.
what in the world? This is so crazy. Match was very good. Sammy got the pin on Bronson Reed. There was when Gable came out, he initially had Otis and Maxine at the entrance. He looked at Maxine and told her, "I don't want you out here. You're worthless, blah, blah, blah. Get back in the back." He told Otis, "You're my guy. I need you."
Right.
And there was a point where Otis did get involved.
Yep.
He did attack Bronson Reed, knocked him down. People were like, "Oh my gosh." Then he wanted him to do the same thing to Sammy, and he was very hesitant. That's when Gable got out of the ring. It confronted Otis as Sammy was still staggering to get, and
Right.
actually says, "What do I got to do? Snap out of it. You know what you need to do." And slaps Otis again. Tells him, "Do I need to beat the sense out of you or whatever?" He actually now holds Sami Zayn and tells him to, do it.
Right.
And when he goes, Sammy ducks. Chad Gable goes down. Otis is in very deep surprise. I guarantee we will see things tonight addressing that. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already teased Gable with the Creed brothers.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the Creed brothers to come out and just destroy the rest of Alpha Academy. And it's going to happen sooner than later, I think.
Right.
But at that time, Gable was out. Sammy and that's at the same time. The last thing that happened to Bronson Reed was get hit by Otis. So he was kind of staggered in the corner.
Right.
And Sammy came in and took advantage. He got the Hoover kick and got the pin.
Okay. So I know we've touched on a couple of matches here for tonight, and I'm trying to look and see what else is coming up here. Because we've already touched on.
We talked a little bit about Becky and Liv in a steel cage.
Yeah, and we've also talked about the women's tag titles. So as well, we are going to have Braun Strowman versus JD McDonough.
Yeah. First match back for Strowman since his return.
Yep. And I'm really not overly thrilled. Like, for me, Braun Strowman is, I can run around the ring and knock people down.
Yeah. Hopefully it builds a more story. I don't know. I mean, Strowman's a big guy.
Right.
If he's not in a title picture of any kind, you have all these little guys. So what's he doing? Single-handedly going to try to take out the Judgment Day? I mean, because you got him, you got Dom, you got Finn.
Yeah.
Damien's doing his own little thing off to the side. Does it lead to a Damien versus Bronson match?
I'm highly
Not
doubting
Bronson,
it.
but Braun match.
Yeah, I'm gonna highly doubt that. Again, like, and I'm gonna go back to when everybody was complaining about Roman Reigns being shoved down our throats and main eventing WrestleMania 4 years in a row. That was where I stood on Braun Strowman. I've never found him to be all that credible as a competitor. What I would love to see is during that match, maybe one of the new rumored Wyatt Six shows.
That would be nice too.
To offer that little tease.
I honestly thought they would. When I heard Eric Rowan was coming back, I thought who would be best to pair with him since his old partner is no longer. I mean, God rest
John Huber's soul.
John Huber's soul, but have Braun Strowman and him team up, be a tag team. Maybe they can pull him into the Wyatt Six. It won't have to be Wyatt Six. I mean, Wyatt Six is already whatever, but he's now the seventh member, and be a part of that group because he doesn't need to be by himself. He's not that entertaining by himself unless he's going on a rampage like Braun Breaker or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, even for me, like, yes, I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan now that you bring that name up, but last week he did the same thing. My name is Braun. I can run around the ring and knock people down.
Yeah. No, I mean, his story is a little bit different. They are making him look like he's getting frustrated with the booking. And he attacked Ricochet backstage.
Yep.
Who was friends with Ricochet? Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Could we see a Braun Breaker versus Braun Strowman match? I could see that, and
I,
Braun
I
Breaker wins.
I could absolutely see that. In fact, I would not complain about seeing that. Um, but for me, Braun Strowman just doesn't
Yeah,
offer anything in terms of he's not overly charismatic. He's not a great worker. He's got the size.
yeah. Like I said, I honestly think him and Red, uh, Eric Rowan would make a great team. I think they could be uh, a good faction, a good team there. Oh, toss the chicken parm. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, Chris Best. How are you tonight, my friend? I will see you on the Raw Patrol in about 20 minutes.
But yeah, I agree. I agree with you. He doesn't have a lot of. I mean, seen him in person, like some live events. I mean, he is a big guy. He is like a wonder. But he's just not story wise. They're just throwing him in a match right now. Hopefully, it
Right.
leads to something because they teased, him facing Logan Paul, scaring Logan Paul off. So I first thought, oh wow, we don't see a Logan Paul versus Strowman match because he chased Logan off when Logan was attacking. Uh, so I don't know. Well, we helping Miz and R-Truth because R-Truth said he had Andre the Giant's going to help him, and so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Raw's going to be. They're keeping everything close to the chest today for what's happening on Raw. We're going to get a lot of answers, probably continuations of stories.
Yes. Well, now we have to start building the road to Clash at the Castle. So
That's only is that only 3 weeks away?
June 15th.
June 15th. So yeah, it's pretty close.
I could be wrong on that. Let me double check that. Yes, Saturday, June 15th at 2 p.m.
But yeah, another PLE that's overseas that is going to be an early PLE again,
Yes, and I will be
working.
I have yes, I will be working. I am that day is so booked for me, it's ridiculous. I'm at work, so I'm going to miss the PLE. I have a stag and doe that night, which is a combination bachelorette party for bride and
Okay.
groom. We have the CWE is rolling through town that night with D'Lo Brown that Turnbuckle Studios is sponsoring.
Uh,
So I have to miss that because I've been told in no uncertain terms that the stag and doe is the priority because I am in the wedding party.
wow, you're just a busy man, OMD.
As well, that day there's a new band that I'm listening to that they're doing a YouTube live that night that I've already got my invite for that I'm not going to be able to make. I am going to see if I can reach out and secure an interview with them here for the Boars Nest.
Okay. That's amazing.
So, and Chris Best has just announced that there is no PLE patrol that weekend as he and Carl will be doing the CWE show.
And I will just be sitting there giving you all the scoop when he's going to be like, "No, spoil it. You ain't going to watch it, OMD. You're going to be too busy."
No, that's one that I've got to watch because I'm not as big on the Saudi shows, and I think it's part of it is just the history in that part of the world and
Yeah.
where everything is.
Yeah.
But like Scotland, Australia, France, I can absolutely 100% get behind. I have seen some of the Saudi shows, and again, a very passionate fan base, and they go absolutely insane.
Yep. They were pretty good. I mean, they had a lot of this girl in the front row. I couldn't keep her eyes off her because she was holding up like an iPad On one way, it was like, is that an iPad or is that a laptop, a MacBook? She's like holding over the barricade like she's recording everything. I'm like, don't people see this? It's like not a phone. This was like a whole big iPad. Like, how did
Right.
you get that through security? But they did have like I said, Uncle Howdy QR code at PLA during. They keep doing it during Bronson's entrance. Reed.
Okay.
Because I think it happened during Bronson Reed's entrance last time. When he gets close to the ring, they do a staticky thing. I don't know if it's just by coincidence,
Right.
but they keep doing that during Bronson Reed's entrance. The little
That
thing and people.
that would be an interesting addition to that group.
And apparently it went to I don't even know where the QR code went to. You would have to find out from our local data analyst, Chris
I,
Beck.
I did see something where Uncle Howdy had letters written
Yeah.
to each of the new members of Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis.
Yes. Eric Rowan.
Yep.
Yeah, I seen that. Like I said, I'm hoping it's soon. Hoping it's as soon as tonight.
I would love to see it. I mean, we were all anticipating it with the Roman numeral date of VXXV for Saturday.
Yeah. People
I've also
were
heard that it could just be as early as next month. So it's going to be very, very interesting as we are on the 27th. So we could be looking as early as next Monday.
yeah.
We could be looking as early as potentially as early as tonight to Friday to next Monday to next Friday.
There's so much going on. And
But again, I could also see it happening at Clash at the Castle.
then like I said, we gotta build for that card coming up. That's when isn't that when Damien's fighting Drew? Is that Clash
Yes.
at the Castle? So I like how they're splitting up. They're building like a 2 month, well, almost two, maybe a month and a half build. For that match.
It's been the
Um,
fact that Drew's been hurt with that
yeah.
fractured elbow, so they've kept him from in-ring
So,
competition. So
so yeah, so we'll probably see that. I don't know if Cody will defend at this PLE since he defended at this one. I mean, they might, kind of bounce back and forth.
and I'm okay with that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Ho- Hopefully we get um well, Becky, no, that's not Becky. That's SummerSlam. So who knows if Bailey will defend her title at Clash of the Castle since she hasn't had a title match in a while, or if they're gonna wait all the way till SummerSlam.
Right.
Hopefully she does defend it. I figured the other titles that weren't defended at King of the Ring will be defended at Clash of the Castle, and they'll build stories with that.
Right.
Um,
And tonight as well, we also get Gunther's first appearance as the King General.
King General. Yes, it's going to be interesting. Um, I'm excited for him. He gets a title shot. We got more questions than answers. Not sure exactly how that's going to play out since Randy's on SmackDown, and I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more Triple H announcements, or they might go through Pierce,
Right.
relaying what is happening with that. But no, I'm looking forward to tonight's Raw. I mean, we're only 10 minutes away,
Yes. Yes,
and
we are.
and this is going to be a great show. And uh, they're back in the States, I think,
I believe so.
and so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I'm 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 really hoping the Uncle Howdy and the White Six show up soon. Um, hope they don't prolong it longer and longer. I mean, they have had reports of Dexter Loomis having a new look at the Performance Center. He
Yep.
now has longer hair. He has a beard. When I first seen that, and they said, I'm like, look, I'm like, that is not Dexter. And then the more I looked, I'm like, wow. I would not, if he would come back with them not taking his name, or have a different name than Dexter Loomis, I would not put two together at first.
Right.
Because the guy was like, so they're they're basically, looks like he has a whole new gimmick. Not going to be the serial killer persona. So who knows if he's going to come back with a whole new move set.
Right.
Um,
See, the funny thing is like one of the character he has portrayed, as long as I have been watching Dexter Loomis, also known as Samuel Shaw, is that tortured artist, which was why you never really heard him speak. He did his talking, not even in the ring, but through drawings. And it was masterful the way he was able to tell his story, as just, through the work in his eyes and his facial expressions. Because we've never really heard him talk other than for saying "I do" on NXT when he married
yeah,
Indy Hartwell.
yeah,
So I've always loved his character work. He's the one guy that doesn't need to speak and says everything he needs to.
yeah. So, I agree. I'm just not really sure what. Like I said, we have SmackDown and at Friday, and they'll continue adding on to the Bloodline storyline that they're doing with that.
Yep.
And other than that, is there anything else? I think we come to a
I
impasse.
think we've covered it all. I mean, yes, we've already touched on. Well, it was supposed to be Liv Morgan's first appearance as the women's world champion, but then we also know that she is defending against Becky inside a steel cage. And I'm really not sure what else, if anything, has been announced for tonight.
Nothing really else. Like I said, they're keeping everything close to the chest. I guess I could talk a little bit, if you don't mind. I can talk a little bit about the last 7 minutes. I can talk about, throw a movie review in.
The floor is yours, my friend.
So this last week, I went and seen the prequel, Furioso, Mad Max, the saga of Furioso. And initially, it's a prequel of uh, Fury Road with Tom Hardy. And they, of course, recasted Furioso. I initially thought this was way in the past. It does show her as a child, and it speeds up to the events prior to Fury Road. I initially, when it said saga, I was thinking this was going to be a multi-movie thing leading up to Fury Road. That's not the case. This movie is a one and done, because the ending of the movie, as soon as you see the ending, you're like, initially I was like, this seems very familiar to Fury Road and the story there, and it is, because she is helping the wives escape, and that's how that whole Fury Road is. You never see how the women escape. All you know is they're in the truck, and they kind of, so just expect a really good George Miller film. I think it's George Miller. He's the one that made all the Mad Max movies.
Okay.
Mad Max does make a appearance, not Tom Hardy though. It's just in the back. It's just for a few seconds. Apparently, they used his stunt double that they had in the original movie. A lot of returning characters are from Fury Road. All antagonists, except, like I said, we have a new antagonist, which is Chris Helmsworth as his Dr. Demento
Okay.
character. But a lot of returning characters. Some of the characters, I guess, the uh, one of the main characters from the Fury Road, he's no longer alive, so they had to recast him. But I couldn't really tell. I thought he looked a little younger, but I still thought he was played by the same actor because they had him in the same get up and everything like that. They did have, I always recognize him because he used to be a professional wrestler. Nathan Jones.
Okay. Yep.
He reprises his role as one of the sons of the guy that I said that they recast. But they had a couple other guys there that was head of. They have Gastown and they have Bullet Town, and there's a leader of each of those, and those that reprise their roles as theirs. But no, I initially thought this movie, and so even when I left the theater, I'm like, why would they tell the same story? Did she try to make these women escape twice? Like I was still thinking that this is going to be a 3-part movie or a 2-part movie, but then I was like, then I got home, I started reading some, explanations, and I was like, oh, I should have seen this because I guess if I had paid attention, the women that were in this movie were the same women casted in the Fury Road, and I'm like, oh, and I didn't realize it. But anyway, I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. Great movie if you like the Mad Max saga and
Right.
the world that they built. And so,
See,
other than that, that's it.
I have not seen Fury Road. Like when you said they brought back the original Mad Max, I was waiting for, okay, they had a cameo from Mel Gibson in there. That would have been sweet.
No, they just had basically the shot in Fury Road. It starts out with Mad Max on a cliff overlooking a desert. At the very beginning of Fury Road, he's like eating, and he's kind of telling his backstory a little bit before he's being chased by members of this town. But in this part, he was just kind of overlooking, and he's seen Futuroso being like collapse or something from the desert heat or something. He didn't make no action. It was just kind of like, hey, he is in the world, but we don't have to have him be a main part to tell a story.
Right.
And it was true. It was good.
Excellent. So before we go, we are going to hand out our socials, but I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, True North Customs. Their owner is Nathan Reed. They are based here locally for me, just on one of the native reserves. And I don't have all the info, but Bubba Duke, hopefully he will be back next week. But people, if you are here, go use the promo code TNC at True North Customs. He will give you a deal. He will get you what you need. And then the gentleman behind him in the auto shop will install all of it. I will when Bubba returns, he will be able to give you far more information on that. As well, we have Professional Auto. Again, I don't know a whole lot. Hopefully, Bubba can give you some of this information when he's returning. But now we are going to hand out our socials, and I'm actually going to start with Bubba since he's missing tonight. And you can catch him on the Boars Nest with myself on Thursday nights at 8:00 on Twitch and YouTube at Bubba, on YouTube at Bubba OMD, which is where we are broadcasting right now, and on Twitch at Boars Nest with Bubba Duke. Bulkster, I am going to pass on the socials to you now, my friend.
So I have very few socials. I have a YouTube channel that I love to use for gaming, for Raw. This show here, if you want to catch up and see what we have to say about the Raw review show, you catch me on there. I don't have a set schedule for gaming. As soon as I can, I do include some gaming on there. I haven't in a while. But that is what I do on there. You'll catch a lot of videos of my gaming there. My other one is TikTok. I'm up to, if you guys could please go follow my TikTok at Bulkster Show. Look up the Bulkster Show. I'm getting close to 1,000 followers. I'm at 900 and something followers. I have now can go live. I am working on to build a fan club to watch wrestling. And hopefully, there's a lot of people out there that are streaming PLEs or Raw, and I want to offer that to everybody because I've used those platforms to watch stuff when I don't have access to it. TikTok is one of those that have been very laxed on their copyright, unlike other platforms. And like I said, I'm thankful for the people that have done it before me. I would like to express that gratitude by, being able to do that for them. But I have to get some things arranged so I can at least give you guys a good view of the show.
Okay, excellent. And for myself, people, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on the Book of Faces under Daniel Harisic. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM&D. On Twitch at OMD17, though I very, very rarely use that platform. And on Discord at OMD6370. Again, I very, very seldom use it. You can catch me right here every Monday with the Bulkster, with Bubba Duke, doing this Raw preview review show. Coming up in mere moments, you can catch me over on the Raw Patrol on Turnbuckle Studios with Carl Carafel, with Chris Best, with Chris Parrish, and potentially Bubba Duke. On Tuesdays, you can catch me on Turnbuckle Talk with Chris Best and Carl Carafel. Thursdays, right here with Bubba Duke on the Boars Nest. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been our absolute pleasure. Bulkster, thank you for joining me. Your analysis and insight was incredible tonight.
Thank you. Yours too as well.
I appreciate that. And so from all of us here at the Boars Nest, to those of you out there, wherever you are, in the immortal words of Carl Carafel, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. Deep